Microphone's muted, wasn't it? Yeah, yeah. Good start. Good start. Never mind. Right, we're back now, though. We're back now. We'll start again. We'll pretend it didn't happen. Welcome, the Outside Insider back on Philly Sports Network. Quick apology to start the video for the appearance. I know I look like I've gone through 8 rounds with Mike Tyson. I haven't. It's just hot here in England. My allergies have picked up, and I spend most of my day looking like this because it's not good. I don't know why. I've had it since I was a kid. It's a lot of fun. Anyone else suffers with allergies or hay fever, you'll know the battle. But it will not stop me breaking down tape on Andrew Mukuba. Now, we spent Monday's stream going over Jahad Campbell, a player who the Eagles were very, very bullish on, to a point they wanted to trade up to around pick number 22 or so. And are we still in? Is it back now? Can we make sure it's back up? I think we're back. Okay, I wanted to make sure we're back. I'm not getting joked along. But yeah, the Eagles obviously wanted to trade up to get Jahad Campbell. I didn't watch any tape previously. I was very late to the draft process, mainly because our Eagles team did such an incredible job with mock drafts and prospect breakdowns and all the rest of it that I was like, I don't have a need to at the minute. Like they're doing so well. I just want them to have the spotlight. And with other things keeping me busy, I just didn't have time to really dig in until like a month before the draft. Also, the Super Bowl just really prolongs it. So watching Jahad Campbell for the first time, I was very pleasantly surprised. I saw a lot that I liked. If you want to watch that stream, it's up on the channel. Went out on Monday. And it's just an hour going over like 2 or 3 games of Jahad Campbell, his versatility, his athletic upside, and just how he's going to fit what I feel into Fangio's defense like a glove. He's going to be so good there to just move around. And from what I've read about Andrew Mukuba, I get similar vibes. But this is the pick that I'm honestly very intrigued to go into. So we're going to watch like 2 or 3 games again, cut-ups of things on YouTube. I don't really like looking at highlights because they're highlights. Like you could make highlights of me playing football and I'd look moderately decent. I think you need to look at full tape and just see pros and cons and that kind of thing. But Mukuba's pick intrigued me purely because there were so many other names on the board. You know, you had Malachi Starks, who they passed on. They moved up, obviously, to get Campbell. They tried to do it before. They could have got Starks. A little bit later, guys like Xavier Watts, Kevin Winston Jr., who we did do a breakdown on this channel, and his tackling is absolutely, unbelievable. So why did they go for Mukuba over those other guys? Like, what does he bring that those other guys don't? That's what I really want this video and this stream to be, because it's easy to say, yeah, okay, they've got a safety, they lost Gardner Johnson, he can fill that role. That's fine. You can apply that to literally any player that plays safety. What makes Mukuba special is what we're going to find out. And here we see a little bit of analysis from Win Sports. He just lacks size, misses tackles. Very CJGJ. So we'll have a look. Let's get some tape on the road. You'll have to excuse me here. Cool. No, that's my own stream. That's me. We don't want to watch that. I've gone down too far there. Where are we to? That one there. All right. So SEC Championship versus Georgia in 2024. That's not there. Let's cut through a little bit. We got an intro. All right. Let's have a look. So let's get into it. So number 4 is who we're looking at, obviously. That's a good start. That's oh Christ, that was a bit of a heavy hit actually. I hope the guy's all right. I'm assuming he is, but very heavy hit. All right, so let's start. So we're looking for number 4. Do we get an arrow? Does that help us? If not, I'm assuming he's going to be off screen. Yeah, he's off screen, so that's automatically a brilliant start because you can't really identify positioning or traits or anything like that. But unless he comes downhill or something, yeah, he does. Okay, right. So they've done it that way. Interesting. So let's go back. Bursts out of a cannon here. Absolutely out of the defensive backfield, through past the line of scrimmage. I'm assuming he ends up making it. Jeez, yeah. Okay, all right. I like that. That's a nice way to start a film breakdown. See, that's probably the better view we're going to have. Do we get one? So he's actually back up here. According to Irby's clicker, he's actually up there. And you can just look at him sift through traffic well. You lose him a bit there to the left, but very good closing speed off the jump. So now we've got a bit more of a traditional look. 2 safeties. Looks like it's going to be pretty zonal coverage. Ends up being a screen. Downhill again. Yeah, like it. We'll watch it a couple more times. It's just the way it's the sifting through traffic. I think being downhill is one thing. Being able to actually wrap up a tackle is another. Like, there are too many players, especially in today's NFL, where they have all the closing speed, and yet they will just fly past opponents and they don't wrap them up. Like, so especially after watching Winston, the technique's good, wrap around the arm, loses it a bit, but it's at the sideline, so it doesn't really matter. Not the best tackling angle. Could that have been better? Like, we're going to get really intricate with this because I feel like we kind of have to. Doesn't help the player's already jumped one tackle there. He's having to take a lateral one. So from that point, because you know that block has done his job, you can't come down this alley. If you do, he's going to go up there. So he's done well to force the player to the sideline. At that point, you know the guy's probably going out of bounds, and he slows him down enough to get a stop. Like, what? The fact that he didn't wrap him up cost what, 2 yards? Doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. So that's okay. I don't mind that off the jump. That's a good little play. Cover 2 again. Another good click and close there. I wish we just had better views of this. Little bit late. Like maybe a step behind, but gets his hand into the catch point and breaks the ball up, which is all you can ask for. A lot of energy on a third down, that would have been. Yeah, he reads that well. That's a really good angle. We just go back there and watch him again. Obviously, he's circled now, which helps a lot. But trying to look at his position. The only thing I'll say on that play that isn't great is if you watch the other safety, and I know they're playing different roles, so they're going to be, positioned differently and stuff. But if you look at how, let's just watch it. I'm trying to slow it down in segments. It's really hard on YouTube because it jumps back quite frequently. But if you watch the other safety on the left here and just the movements, right? He's constantly moving. His eyes are moving. His body's following. I feel like Mukuba, just in this one play, is a little bit too stationary until then he breaks. Till he sees the quarterback look there. Now, that's fine. That's fine. But if the quarterback pulls that ball back, and let's just say, for instance, this route is going up here, or, that this is a fake and it's a zip and it's going to come back, or whatever it is, you're going to be out of position because there's no linebacker support because they've all flooded thinking the ball's going over on like a screen or something. So it's a little bit sticky, a little bit just flat-footed, I guess. But it's not bad. It's just something that isn't a positive. This isn't like oh, wow, he's really flat-footed. It's just something that I want to make a note of because if it comes up more frequently, you're going to have to keep an eye on that at the next level. The rest of the play is brilliant. Again, maybe a step behind where I'd like him to be making that tackle, but he adjusts well into the path of the player, breaks the ball up. It's solid enough. Single high. How does he handle this? He's moving already, which is nice. So that's a start. Downhill again. Looked like he lost the angle a bit there. Like he trips a little bit here. Yeah. Trips a little bit. Gets up. Makes a hit. Brings the player down. So recovers nice. Again, luckily we get another view. So just see him. So he's backpedaling nice. Much lighter on his feet there. So hopefully that play was maybe just a one-off or he was assigned something a bit more, fixed in the backfield or something. Good hustle there to try and break that ball up. I'm trying to see positioning wise. I think that's the main thing. So they've rocked the safeties down. So this automatically will then move to a cover 1. And it's man coverage across the board. He's gonna just read it well and come down. I don't mind it. It's a feisty play and he's gone up to get it. He's very aggressive. He's very, very aggressive. My worry is if he's not as technically proficient as some of the other guys, that might haunt him at the NFL level. Like, is that going to come back and bite him if you're like very Jalen Mills-esque, if you know what I mean? Mukuba's elite in coverage. Says, Josh, is it me or is he really small? Yeah, he is a little bit undersized. He's a little bit undersized. But does he make up for it? Like, it's length at safety doesn't bother me as much at corner. Like, you can have a 5'9", 5'10" safety and then do the job. And I think in some way, especially against the run, I think it helps. Because you've got a lower mass, a lower center of gravity. You can get lower, be more compact, and you're not going to be kind of flailing. It sounds really like it wouldn't be an issue, but you'd be surprised that some of the taller safeties take worse tackling angles. So I don't mind it. Just don't expect him to be like a bull hawk, I guess, just off the measurements alone. But if we actually just watch the rest of it and see how he pans out, I will say he constantly finds himself around the ball. Like every play that's been spotlighted here, he has been around the ball. You know, he'll hustle back to it. If he's out of phase, he's going to work his way back down. Even here, yeah, last line of the defense comes over the top. Nice. See what he does with this. Bit of an audible from Georgia. Does that change anything defensively for them? I think they've moved to a single high. I can't really see. Hopefully, again, we get another shot of the back end of it. Yeah, that was a nice hit. Nice hit. Comes down well, stays back far enough to be that guy, to be the closer, essentially. That's what you want him to do in that situation. I can see how they would want to maybe put him as like a box safety just off this, where that length isn't going to be abused as much. Like, yeah, I get something like that. Okay, that might be where it hurts him. If he lacks just the power element, like he just gets absolutely ran over here. It's a great play by the running back. Like, let's not discount that. He does well to shed the block. Like, the more important thing there is he sheds the block quickly, gets contact in. There's not much you can do. I think he has time to really lower his pad level because by the time he gets off the block, the running back's there. Like, you can't get low and get square. You're going against someone that's running full forward against someone that's just fully reset. That's only ever going to go one way. So I'm not going to hold that over him. I don't think that's, a bad play at all. Again, gets off the block. And by that, like, what do you want him to do at that point? Like, what do you actually want him to do there? He tries to get low. He stunts him enough. The other player overshoots his tackle, and the running back falls into the red zone. Like, you can't ask for more from him, given the context of the play. So you see him here a little bit down more in the box, actually, which is nice. Shoots that very impressively. Yeah. So my immediate takeaway is I think the length might hurt him. I think when you can do this against the run, when you can identify plays, like look how early he spotted that, by the way. So he's lined up here as this like third linebacker, essentially, and you've got kind of two shadow corners outside it. Keep his eyes. He's light on his feet. He's much better here. Puts an arm out just to get a touch on what that tight end's going to do. And he's seen it here. He's moving here on this orbit. So he's already in motion. Big high stride. Finds a gap. Is able to bolster through it. And then not only that, even with a push in the back, does end up making the tackle. Really well done. Like, that was a really impressive play. That's probably the best play I've seen from him in this game. Really good. Click and close is great. He identifies gaps very well. I mean, again, I know it's only one game, but you can see that quite prominently there. I get it. I get it. I see why they've taken him. But I think potentially... Oh, okay, that was a missed tackle. Let's watch that back again. Could the angle have been better? Yeah, probably. Did he just come down here a bit too soon? Yeah, I think he was just a little bit out of position there. Not dire, but you'd expect him to make that tackle. Like in the NFL, you have to make that tackle. Like you just are, because the players are going to be much more physical. But if you look how far back he is, how much time has he got? He's got a lot of time to identify that path and close in. He's got the speed to get there. And I can see what he's tried to do. Again, like your main job here is purely to force the run this side, get it towards the boundary, give yourself a chance. You don't want to go on over the middle where there's just no one there. So I can see why he's done it. I think he just came down maybe a step too much downhill. Like, because realistically, if you force the player to juke, they have to stop, right? Like, even if here you take that one extra step laterally and the player cuts back inside, he's coming into traffic. There's probably more chance of a stop here than there is if you force him this way. So, yeah, 50-50. Not the best positioning. Got a hit on him. Not the end of the world. I mean, I'm not sure I'd have a second round grade on him based off this game. There's certainly traits there that are enticing. And if the Eagles can hone in and kind of, let him play in a position where his weaknesses are negated somewhat, I think he's going to be valuable. That's good. Stuff like that's really good. Like, overall, I think his technique is sound. Like, when he's confident he can get a hit, he's kind of like a really lack of a better term here. But in the same way, Jeremiah Trotter, like, stuff like that, like misses this tackle here. The player's already slowed down. Like, you've got to try and make that. I know it's a bigger player. First guy misses. Now his motion's gone. You've squared up. The player has done a good job of getting low. Holds him long enough for the other guys to make a stop. It's all right. It's all right, But I wonder if a slot role or, having him come down on nickel blitzes and stuff like that would be just a little bit more valuable. Like, you can see him there breaking down. Like, that's a great play. His click and close is really impressive. So can you find him a role where this is going to be what he's tasked to do more often? He's quick. I think he is instinctive, especially around the catch point. That's a good tackle. Like, the tackling's not as bad as I guess I was maybe expecting off the early goings of this tape. Can you make one here? Yeah, nice. Huge hit. That was the big hit. That's the highlight reel one. Oh, okay. Heavy hit. That's definitely getting flagged in the NFL. That guy looks absolutely concussed already. Okay. Yeah, I was going to 7 Ma's. That's not a flag. So you've got that. Can we have the vid full screen? I don't think it works. I've tried. All it does is get me to here. But is that better? Oh, we can. I didn't know I could do that. I apologize. And now the video stopped. Lovely. Vit will nail the techniques down with fundamentals. I hope so. Instincts you can't teach. K1 says that was erotic. Instincts are on point, not to mention patience to stay with the play. Yeah. Size is a problem. Avonte Maddox is a great comparison, actually. I do kind of like that. Let's watch another game. I don't want to watch highlights because I'm not 12. All right. We're here for the full dirty film in all of its glory. 2022. Can we not get any 2024 ones? 2024 would be great, but I think we might be out of tape here. So we might have to just go through 2022 or highlights. I don't want to do highlights, but if it's all we got, we'll do the 2022 game. So at least here, mate. I mean, this is at Clemson. It's a different team. Maybe we can kind of get an idea of his progression from the last couple of years and see how that would, transition over. So we're a number 1 here, so no longer number 4. First play was pretty solid. Drapes himself over the receiver, brings him down. It's not bad. I mean, I'd like to see him a bit. I'd like to see him a bit more in coverage. I want to see what he can do in coverage. Is he playing with Jeremiah Trotter Jr. here? Yeah, he is. That's interesting, I think. Or am I mistaken? I hope I'm not. Otherwise, I look a little bit silly. But, oh, that wasn't him, luckily. That's better. Okay, cool. See, this is the kind of stuff. Yeah, good. Okay, it's there. All I need to see is proof it is there. Nice back pedal there. We haven't seen that today in either of the games we've watched. Just very fluent back pedal. Very, very fluent back pedal. I like that. And then when you come back down, make a hit, yeah? Okay, so this is, I know it's a couple years ago. I know it's a lesser opponent. I know it's a different defense. But in terms of just, you're looking for traits here. And he's got them. I wonder if, and this might be an odd comparison as well. The Alabama corner last year, who I've annoyingly forgotten his name. I'm going to put it on the fact my body clock is absolutely toasted at the minute and I can barely speak a coherent sentence. But the Terrion Arnold, that was it. Terrion Arnold. I really liked him over Quinion Mitchell because he was a lot younger, a lot less experience, and I felt he could probably do more with his fundamental tools. And he's a lot less accomplished than a guy like Quinion. Now, Quinion turned out to be the better player week 1. Would I still put money on Arnold to be the better corner when all's said and done? I don't know. Like, if I'm being honest, it's hard to say. I would, off of potential and upside, maybe go with yeah. I kind of see that here, where he would be the Terrion Arnold, where maybe he's a little bit rawer. His technique isn't as polished. He's a little bit undersized, which you kind of see here. But even there, is around the catch point, hustles really hard. He's got all the right traits. But if you compare him to someone like Winston, like Xavier Watts, they are better, more polished players. In the long run, is Mukuba going to be the better player? That's, I think, what they're kind of betting on here. It's just that then the upside is that little bit bigger. So I think watching these have been really important because you do get to understand that pick just a little bit more. Trotter just whiffed. The Texas defense 2024. All right, Bird Brains come in with. Let's see if I can just do this. I see what you've done. Hang on, I see what you've done. Because he plays on the Texas defense. We don't want offensive line. Because that's not going to work, is it? That's just going to be run plays. Or is it? Oh, no. It's offensive line / offense. All right, okay. Let's do Texas A&M. Because I like Texas A&M. I don't know why. Okay. Johnny Manziel, unfortunately. We all have a toxic relationship in our lives. K1 gets his reference. We're all good. Where's he lined up here? Is he kind of coming down? See, I think I've got to try and find him on the field again now. So we'll be back to his number 4. I don't actually think he's on the field in this play. Or is he there in the middle? Really hard to tell without the arrow. I wish we had the arrow, but we'll find him. Yeah, he's okay. He's up there. All right. He's on the field. He's there. Just got to dig him out a little bit. So this was to get to the SEC championship game. So it's a big, pressure moment. Big game, high stakes. Right, here we go. This is the sort of view we want. Again, it's this, and I don't know if this is coached or not, but he's standing over it like he's a corner. So unless this is man coverage, which I mean, you'd have to man the safeties or like blitz the safeties and then have the linebacker in zone. Because that'd be what man. I don't know. I think I'm just yapping. But the way he's standing is very cornerback-esque. The other safety's a lot more aggressive with his movements. Like there's not a lot of wasted movement here with Mukuba, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's certainly. I'll make the video big screen again. Sorry, hang on. Here we go. So we get a bit of this. Where was he on that play? Don't get a replay. Lovely. Over the top here. See, stuff like that. I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know. I can't quite get a read, if I'm honest. Like, I like things that I like the hustle. I like the instincts. I like his click and close. The rest of it, I think, is a little bit just up for debate. But if you can develop the rest of it, because he plays hard, and if as a character he's going to be a better fit in that secondary, like I don't really see the size thing, to be honest. Like a lot of people are obviously concerned about the undersized nature. I don't see that as anywhere near a concern that other people do. I just think he's technically just a little bit behind some of the other safety. Has he played corner? Has he been a corner at all? Because he looks like he plays corner. The way he stands and the way he moves. Which is great, to be honest. Like, look, I'm all for it because you're going to have flippy hips and you're going to twitch around. That was great coverage. Did that not get... That's annoying if that didn't get... Did that get picked off? Yeah, it must have done. Yeah, because the next play's 4 minutes later. I just want to see the impact he has there. Oh, okay, to be fair, it could have been a PI. He has just, like, launched him to the ground. But, all right, so flags could be an issue because that's 2 hits now we've seen in 3 games where... Absolutely in the NFL, I think that's going to be a flag. Like whether it is here or not is subjective. The NFL, as we know, are bozos in that regard and are probably going to punish it a bit more. Still don't see him there, so we'll be over the top, hopefully. There he is. No, it's not him. Oh, it's the only thing. I keep moving him around. I can't keep an eye on it. I like the red. Give me back the proper red arrow ones, is what I say. Yeah, they're just running the ball now. I don't think I need him in. Come on, he must be here somewhere. Or unless they've just moved in position. Maybe he's outside? Like, am I tripping or is he just not there? Well, he's not there. Sat there. We'll see if maybe he's on the field for this one. Looks like he could be. At that single high spot. No, it's 25. Okay. Try and get a better view after this one. Maybe he's just having a series out or something. I was Jackson Maguga sports breakdown of him not necessarily trying to plug. Hey, look, you can plug. If it's a good video, it's a good video, man. I'm all for it. I'm not gonna gatekeep stuff or especially now. I don't do film breakdowns as much anymore. I much prefer doing it live and giving like an honest opinion on it and stuff. And if there are people that like this is the thing with film analysis. I say it a lot, but the more people watch it, the more people make their own subjective like opinions. And I can look at a player and think he's awful, and someone else can look at a player and think he's God's gift. And the truth is somewhere in the middle, and there'll be a bit of everything. And there'll be things that I miss other people see, and vice versa. And it just helps you get a complete picture. So yeah, I'll check it out, and I'd probably recommend you guys to as well, just because it will help you get a better understanding of how other people see the game. Like, I'm not a scout. I've just been doing this sort of stuff a long time. That was a nice hit. But it doesn't mean my word is gospel or correct. It's an opinion. And sometimes other people's opinions will be better. It's the nature of it. That was a nice hit. No opinion on that. That was just factual. That was a nice hit. I like that. Are we back on in? Maybe at the top. No, not that time. Don't think he's there either. He might be on play here. No. Yeah, he's been taken out a bit, I think, in this game. Not physically, he's just literally not on the field. But probably should be with some of the lackadaisical tackling we're seeing there. Nothing again. Nothing again. Put him in, coach. He's fine. Give him a bottle of Gatorade. Get him back in the game. He's needed. But it's also interesting to look at how, yeah, he's there now. Okay. Deep safety, single high. Excuse me. My body clock, sorry, is just really not playing ball at the minute. But we're fighting through it. Good angle of this. I think he misses a tackle a bit, doesn't he? Oh, no, he makes it. Okay, good tackle. I just want to watch these views. I find really interesting. It's all about the movement. Okay, no, I know. What's up, Anthony? Nice to see you, man. Andrew's going to be a great player for the Eagles in the league with playmaking, ball hawking skills, and good against the run. Andrew Mukuba's going to do well and great. Well, thank you very much, Andrew Mukuba. No, I'm joking. No, I think the run defense skills, absolutely. I think ball hawking, I would tame expectations just because of the lack of height. But as a player, he's got it there. He's very violent around the catch point. He wants to be involved in plays. Flips his hips really nicely there. I just want to go back and watch that bit again. But he moves like a cornerback. And I like that. And I can see why some teams wouldn't. But if you look at how far back he is here, how quick is he able to then close and make a play? Pretty good. Pretty good. I like what I've seen. I don't know if I'd like it enough for a... If they'd have drafted him in the 4th, I'd be very, very impressed. But they obviously, they see something they like. And that's exciting. Like, I think if I was Vic Fangio and I was given this player, I'd be tempted to move DeJean to safety and have him in the nickel. Or you just have him as a box safety and you have him come in as this like hybrid linebacker. So realistically at the minute, if Nakobe Dean's out and your 2 linebacker set is going to be, Zach Bourne and Jahad Campbell, maybe as a 3rd linebacker in those sets, especially if it's passing reps or you expect they're going to be passing snaps, having him there as like a Will or a Sam linebacker, I think might be more valuable and fit his skill set better, just because there's a little bit more breathing room around him. Like, it's the last line of defense. You've got to be inch perfect. And I don't think he is yet. He's got the upside to be. I think that the technicals are there. I think sometimes it's positioning, sometimes it's the lack of power. They might want him to bulk up a little bit. It's hard to say. But as a raw safety, could he come in and fill Gardner Johnson's role? I think he could. If I'm honest, I could see him being like Reed Blankenship level in terms of talent, which, look, we're talking about a starter on a Super Bowl winning team. That's a good level to be at. I don't think he's going to be an all-pro in his first few years. He could definitely develop into it if, he receives the right sort of coaching. Like 5 there drew my eyes just from the way he moved. Like extremely fluid. But I mean, I want to know what you guys think as well. Like, if you're watching this and you've got any takeaways, like, please let me know in the comments, because obviously, again, if there's things I'm missing or things that you think I might be wrong at, I want this to be an open discourse. And if anyone's new to this channel and is watching and wondering why a Brit isn't blown away by a safety their team selected, like, I want to hear about it. I want to know, because I also want to learn. I don't want to just see. That was good. Let's go back and watch that one again. That was good, but a little bit stuck. And again, if you look at how the other safety stands, much wider, much easier to kind of move and flip your hips around. He stands like a cornerback. So I think it's just a little bit, again, rawer. He was projected to go early third. That would make more sense. That to me would make way more sense. And I would, again, third, fourth round, I'd be at this could be a good guy. This could be a great, valuable player. What happened to Cooper DeJean's not a safety? They're going to have to rewrite the song. They're going to have to just say Cooper DeJean's not a defensive end, and I think they might have longevity with it. Someone said he'd be the best safety in the draft if he had size. I don't know if it's just size, though. I just feel like something's missing, and I can't put my... What we'll do after this, because we're nearly at the end, we'll read a scout report from NFL.com and just see what they say, see what we miss. We'll go back and watch one more game, and then we'll make like a final verdict. But I think posture, look how much the other safety's moving, and Mukuba's just sort of standing there, frozen a bit. Now he moves, but when he does move, he's unbelievable. Again, it's like Jeremiah Trotter Jr. last year. He's very, very stuck. And then when he gets off, it's bang, and it's 0 to 1,000. Like, the instincts and the click and close ability are second to none. Like, that's a really good play. Jars the ball loose as well, forces a fumble. Brilliant play. It's just the first bit, like the pre-snap reads, I guess, if you will, or like, the worry is, and look, this isn't me nitpicking. Like, I'm not just trying to find faults in his game. The worry is when you get to the NFL, quarterbacks are so much more savvy when it comes to manipulating safeties. Like, if you look at Patrick Mahomes is the obvious example, but as someone that the Eagles might have to face again, well, they will next year, but like down the line in the Super Bowl, someone like Josh Allen, someone like Lamar Jackson, you're talking about guys that, and even Jalen does it, where you can just move a safety purely with your eyes. Just move him. And the benefit of Mukuba not doing that is you're not going to bite. The bad news is, if you're not taking that bait, you can only beat the dealer so many times. And if you're just not going to move and he knows you're not going to move, it's going to be easy to just work things around that. And that kind of worry. And I'm not expecting him, as soon as the ball snaps, just fly around with his arms in the air. But just light on his feet, bit wider in stance, just gently, whether it's side to side, whether it's just on the spot, pivoting, whatever, just ready. Because I feel like he has to just go from... It's like waking up at 8:59 and you're meant to start work at 9, and you're going, shit, and you're running around the house. And then you get there at just about, the cutoff point before the manager's going to start asking where you are. That is where I feel he's at. But it's not for a lack of effort. I just think it's how he's been coached. It's like your alarm just didn't go off. It's not his fault, That's probably my verdict through what we've seen so far, which I believe is, 3 games? Yeah, we did Boston College, Georgia, and now this. Although Boston College was 2022. So after this game, we'll watch one more and we'll read a scout report just beforehand, because I'm honestly intrigued as to what other people are saying. And I hope I'm not misplaced in saying this. Again, this is all just opinion. So if you think I'm being a Looney Tune, please just let me know, in the comments. It's kind of what they're there for above anything else. We'll check on a few of them now. You're not wrong there. Okay, that's good. Okay, right. As long as I'm not... Look, I know I'm a bit delirious. I know I look like I just got awful allergies. As long as I'm not losing my mind just yet, and I might kind of be right about it. That's also a really good point. Yeah, I think I need to get rid of second round pick and assume, it was like top of the second. Because I think you automatically do that. If you think second round pick, you think second round pick. I think, yeah, realistically, that is a third round pick. And they're not going to get him at the end of the third. If they don't feel like that, then... Yeah, that does make me feel a bit better. Like, for some reason, my head just didn't compute it, and it was, second round pick. He's got to be a borderline first round talent, and Oh, right, out of interest, I'll tell you what we're going to do. Out of interest before anything else, right? Here's what I'm going to do. Because I graded Kevin Winston, didn't I? Okay. Oh, I've got to do it on Safari. Hang on, bear with me. Because for some reason, Chrome doesn't like me. I'm going to grade him. Who else did we grade? I graded Kevin Winston and Malachi Starks. Right, let me share this screen. And I'm going to just see where I would grade him in comparison. Because I just want to know... let me just find the tab a minute. Right, if we're being honest. So everything here is out of 10. Okay, so we're going to go with Andrew Mukuba. Pass coverage, 8. Run defense, like, if I'm honest, 8.5. I'd probably say 9, but I don't know. No, I'm going to go 8.5. She does miss a few tackles. Agility and overall athletic skills, probably an 8.5. Very, very good. The ball skills, I'd put 7 just because of the height, and I think the play strength as well. Like, that's weird though, because the plays he hits, and the plays he doesn't, he doesn't. I'm got a 7.7. Like, it's closer to an 8 than a 7, but I still think that's there. And if I drag that down, 39. Okay, wow. All right, look, I've surprised my own rankings. I was not expecting him to grade out better than Malachi Starks. Maybe I'm just being too picky. Maybe I'm just being too damn like intricate, and I'm really wanting to work out what the clear flaws are in his game so I can, like, work out how he's going to develop with the Eagles. So I also think it's easy to point out someone's strengths, and I can sit here and say, oh, his run defense is great and he plays really well for his size and his click and close is outstanding. But that's good. It might get better, but it's already a strength. I think what you have to do is look at a player's weakness and say, well, look, this isn't good. This is going to need work. And if they can do it, it's going to make him a top level player. So maybe I've just been focusing on that. But I'm genuinely surprised. And if we go off some of the other players in my sheet that I've graded, James Pierce Jr. I had at 43. I loved him. You look at where he went in the draft, that was kind of accurate. Defensive tackle, Walter Nolan, 39. Derek Harmon, 45. Where did Kenneth Grant go? Because I'm sorry, but he was useless. Where did he go? Where's he gone? He's gone to the Dolphins. I just want to know where he's gone. This is completely separate. I just want to know where he's gone. 13? Shut up. 13? 13? Right, okay. If Kenneth Grant's gone 13 and I've graded him at 32, right, and the Eagles get Mukuba at the end of round 2 and I've graded him at 39, my analysis says he's actually going to be pretty good. Somehow, I think I've outspoken myself. I've outkicked the coverage here, and I think we'll be all right. I think that's going to be absolutely fine. He tied for the SEC lead in interceptions, which is very interesting. His biggest knock was size. He weighed in at 194 at his pro day. Nice to see you, SC Birds fan. Welcome to the chat, my friend. I hope all is well. Always love seeing a new face in here, so it's great to be talking ball with you. The draft is a crapshoot, though. I do agree with that. Okay, so let's see what an actual scout report says about him. And how far away are we? I can't spell his name. Mukuba Scout. We'll use NFL.com just because I trust them a little bit more. And they kind of have to be good, don't they? So athleticism score 68. Okay. 40's not bad. Yap. 4-year starter. He plays the game with instincts and awareness of a player who's seen a lot of football. Agreed. Mukuba has the athleticism to play in the slot, like we said. But is at his best when he's able to read the field as a robber and use his instincts, burst, and ball skills to make plays. I can get that. He moves efficiently in coverage. Yes. The efficiency can get away from him in run support. Yeah, we did say, well, yeah, we literally said that. He races in too hot and misses tackles. He's like a day late and a buck short, like a step behind or a step in front. Physicality and playmaking instincts will draw NFL teams as a future starter. Someone get me on a scouting staff. I swear to God, get me on a scouting staff. Anyway, instinctive eyes and aggressive trigger. Yes, we said that. Good awareness to route development as a high safety. Didn't really see much of that, if I'm honest, from the clips we saw, but fair enough. Athletic pedal, said that. Transition, yeah. Plants and drives on throws with no wasted motion, word for word, but also I think he gets a bit stuck. I'll see if that comes down there in the weaknesses. Consistently plays the throw, not the pass catcher. Don't know if I agree with that, but I've only seen a few games. But from what I've seen, he's much more like a step behind, which would imply he is playing the pass catcher because he's missed the tackle a bit, or he's like a step. I don't know. Times elevation and finds high points like a rebounder. If the rebounder was Steph Curry, yes. Able to adjust angles and stop ball. Yeah, but not overwhelmingly is a strength. He can do it, but he does make some bad ones as well. Undersized safety, not really asked. The size doesn't bother me. Loses feel for the route when working from trail position. Okay, average speed to phase deep routes and range over the top. Needs better body control and discipline, and short arms create limited room for error. Well, maybe it's that then. But I mean, how short are his arms? He can't be like a T-Rex. Andrew Mukuba wingspan. Is that 75 and a quarter? Okay, right. So who do they compare him to on Mock Draftable? Ken Crawley, Marcus Harris, 2025, Will Redmond, Kevin Seymour. I wouldn't mind that. Malachi Moore. Okay. Very odd spider chart. Very odd. Well, okay, look, that's news, isn't it? Is it that? I think that's interesting. I think that's a really interesting breakdown. I think we've learned enough to be positive. You know, I've not come away from that going, "Oh my God, what have they done?" I think I've definitely come away from that thinking this is a player that has a niche skill set of being able to hit hard, have really impressive click and close speed, has great instincts, lacks a bit of size, sometimes overshoots his mark, and I think just in coverage at times gets a little bit stuck. But we're talking, you know, things that are so easily coachable. It's not like he's missed 80% of his tackles. He constantly gets flagged. He's constantly out of position. He can't read this. He gets manipulated by quarterbacks, you know, through the air. Bites on double moves. Someone that just like, you look at someone like Marcus Epps, for instance, or, you know, Nate Gary back in the day. We're not talking those guys. We're not talking guys that are just a little bit sporadic. Like his tape was stable, I think, for the most part. It's probably the biggest compliment I can give. It was very steady, very stable tape. There were just a couple missing things. And let's be honest, if I still graded him a touch under Kevin Winston, who I would have preferred personally. I graded him a touch above Malachi Starks, who went higher, much higher. So clearly there's something there, because athletically and fundamentally, there's a flaw there that the DB coach can work with, that Vic Fangio can work with. And when you look at the corners and the safeties that they've got in that room, I think he's going to be a player that can just sap up information and learn from. Also, like, as much as we say, like, you know, they need vets to lead. Like, I think we're past that era now where someone like Quinion and Cooper, they've just won a Super Bowl. They're in their second year, and everything that he's about to go through, those guys have gone through it last year. I think the element of relatability and being able to actually make friends and get close with these guys is much higher. And I think as a result, you should see someone settle into a team, have a good training camp. Preseason is going to be fun. He's definitely one player that I would circle in preseason to go out and just set the world alight. So I'm intrigued. I think I'm really intrigued. And if you look at Reed's skill set, I think it would bounce well. Like in those kind of plays where you'd want a robber playing, like whether it's a cover 1 or a cover 3 robber where he can kind of just come downhill. I think that does fit his game perfectly. Which also then blends into being that box safety, which you mentioned. So yeah, I think he's a good player. I think it's a good pick. I think that he's got a lot of upside. I'm just not sure out of the box how immediate he's going to be impactful as a starter, because if he does get frozen in coverage, if he does take a bad tackling angle, those couple things in college where you get away with, they'll haunt you at the NFL. But again, this is a player that I would have said 4th round. Lance Zerline said 4th round. Technically could have been a 3rd round pick had the Eagles not drafted him. So we can't really expect miracles. All right, this isn't a top 10 safety. This is someone that is still kind of a project. And as we know, the draft was very top heavy. So for the pick they spent, it was well spent. It's a good player. I like what he's going to bring to the table in the long term. And I'm excited to come back after his rookie season and go, all right, what does he look like now when the quarterback's going through his reads? What does he look like when he's coming downhill? Is he standing wider? Because if you lack that length, you're going to have to be wider in your base to try and make that tackle. Is he doing those sort of things? That's going to be a really fun film room, because you've got clear areas now where we can say, hey, this sucked coming out of college, or that was probably a bit aggressive, but this wasn't the best coming out of college. Has it improved at the NFL level? And I'm excited for those film room episodes. Birdbrain says the longest tenured member of the defense are Davis, who just got an extension, of course, or his option picked up, I should say. Reed and Mukuba, they were drafted in 2022. Crazy. That is absolutely crazy when you think about it, isn't it? There's not an old James Bradbury walking around there for love nor money. If he replaces CJ, he did give up 8 touchdowns. Yeah. Fair. I think, Gardner Johnson's character, I think, earned him more praise and adoration from fans than the actual play. I think fans are quick to forget some of the woes and some of the errors and mistakes that he made, just because he was such a glue guy. It's probably the best way to describe him. He's a real glue guy on that defense, and you're willing to give up a little bit of production or a missed tackle here or a given up touchdown there if you're getting someone that just bleeds for the team and can really rile everyone up and be a nightmare for opposing offenses. Look, I love him. I'm so happy he won a Super Bowl with this team. I think he's a great player. But yeah, he's I think replaceable in one way. I do think the Eagles are going to miss that rah-rah element though, for sure. But on that note, guys, I'm going to call it there. Just so you can see, my eyes are getting a bit more bloodshot. Not feeling great, allergy-wise, and body clock's gone. And we've kind of gone through the tape and everything. So I won't keep you too much longer. But we will be back on Friday evening, I presume. If not Friday, it'll be Monday. But all of the streams from myself for the next, 2 to 3 weeks, since you've got so many draft picks, will be going over film. Okay, so obviously next time we're looking at, I believe it's Ty Robinson next, the DT out of Nebraska, as Win apparently reads my mind, puts it straight there. So Ty Robinson next up. Heard a lot of good things, seen a lot of good things. That is a man I want to see how vicious he is on tape. So we're going to be looking at all of that in Friday's stream, all being well. I'll tweet about it if not. If it's not Friday, it'll be Monday, but it should be Friday. Hope you've enjoyed it. On your way out of the theatre, guys, if you could leave a like and hit that subscribe button, that would be tremendous. And as a thank you for that, I will watch the Colorado game for you, I promise. And if I forget, remind me on Friday. Remind me in the comments and we'll go through it together. All right. But I appreciate you all hanging out and taking the time to watch this tape with me. It's been a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it and maybe taken some new knowledge away. And we'll see you on the other side on Friday to do the same for Ty Robinson. So until then, take care. Go Birds. I'll see you soon.